Hi, welcome back to Walking Through the Word. I'm Brother Reed, and today we're starting on Genesis 7, the continuation of the story of the flood of Noah. Let's just jump right in, will we? Okay, so we're going to start in Genesis 7, verse 1. Let's take it from there. Then the Lord said to Noah, "Enter the ark, you and all your household, for you alone have I seen to be righteous before me in this time. You shall take with you of every clean animal by sevens, male and female, and of the animals that are not clean, 2, a male and his female. Also of the birds of the sky, by sevens, male and female, to keep offspring alive on the first face of the earth. For after 7 more days I will send rain on the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and I will blot out from the face of the land every living thing that I have made." Noah did according to all the Lord had commanded him. Because this is where this gets kind of interesting, the story of Noah, because Noah's there and he's building this boat, and he's telling everybody that this flood's coming, and him and his family are going to go and they're going to enter into the ark, and he's probably even telling people it's going to rain, which wouldn't sound weird, but if we remember back in Genesis 2, God said that it had yet to rain upon the earth, and only the water rose up from the ground to water all the plants. So here's Noah saying, "No, water's going to come out of the sky," and they're like, "What?" We can understand rain. We know what rain is, and we know that rain gets bad, but they didn't. They had no idea what rain was. This is crazy. What do you mean water's going to fall from the sky? You're nuts. But Noah believed God. And it says in verse 4 that not only did he tell him to go into the ark, right? So he gathered all these animals and stuff like that. Not only did he go into the ark, but he said that after you go into the ark and you close up the doors and all that, it's going to be 7 days of them sitting in the ark. And I could just hear the mockery, Hey, he built his ark, look, he's locked in. Where's the rain, Noah? Where's the rain, Noah? And sometimes you got to be careful what you ask for. This is also one of these things, if you remember back in Genesis 2, that originally man was a vegetarian. God said, "I'm going to give you all the fruits of the field, fruits of the trees and stuff like that, and herbs of the field for food." And now we did see at the end of Genesis that God sacrificed an animal to make animal skins for Adam and Eve. And so now here we see that God's talking to Noah about clean and unclean animals. And of the clean animals, he's supposed to take 7. Because here God wanted him to eat meat. Here God's saying and pointing out, and the Word of God is showing, that man is not a vegetarian even before the flood. So these are important points to take away. That they went into the household. That they went into the ark a week before it started raining. It had never rained. And they brought 7 of clean animals. Everybody always thinks, "Oh, Noah brought all the animals 2 by 2. Yeah, but he also brought extras to eat. And a lot of people don't realize that. All right, verse 6. Now Noah was 600 years old when the flood of water came upon the earth. Then Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him entered the ark, because of the water of the flood. Of the clean animals and animals that were not clean, and birds and everything that creeps on the ground, there went into the ark to Noah by 2s, male and female, as God had commanded Noah. It came about after the 7 days that the water of the flood came upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month. On the same day, all the fountains of the great deep burst open, and all the floodgates of the sky were opened. The rain fell upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. So this is the beginning of the flood, and going into a little more detail. Like I said, that it was a week. He was in that ark a week without a drop of rain happening. And it talks about the earth changing, that the water came up from the bottom that was underneath the earth, and that that the water dropped down from the heavens too. And it's talking about that. And like I said, this was something new. So the water came down upon them. So he talks about the floodgates of the sky. Let's see what the footnote says. Or the windows of heaven. It says it opens up, the floodgates of the sky were opened up. So that means that now finally it started raining. So this was the first time the rain came in. So the water came up from the bottom. That was there. That was watering the plants. That came up from the water table. And then the water came down from the sky also. And it did that for 40 days and for 40 nights. We'll continue on. Verse 13. On the very same day, Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them, entered the ark. They and every beast after its kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, all sorts of birds. So they went into the ark to Noah, by twos of all flesh, in which was the breath of life. Those that entered, male and female, of all flesh, entered as God had commanded him, and the Lord closed it behind him. So here we go. He's talking about it again. I don't know how many times he wants to tell us. We got the point. The guys went into the ark. All the animals went with them. And when they went in, though, now verse 16, this gets important that we understand. Once they went in, all right, those that entered, male and female of all flesh, entered as God commanded him. And the Lord closed it behind him. So the door was closed by God, not by Noah. Which to me would imply some sort of seal. It was sealed. That's it. They were in there. God was going to protect them. Verse 17. Then the flood came upon the earth for 40 days, and the water increased and lifted up the ark, so that it rose above the earth. And the water prevailed and increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark floated on the surface of the water. The water prevailed more and more upon the earth, so that all the high mountains everywhere under the heavens were covered. The water prevailed 15 cubits higher, and the mountains were covered. All flesh that moved upon the earth perished, birds and cattle and beasts and every swarming thing that swarms upon the earth, and all mankind. Of all that was on the dry land, all in whose nostrils was the breath of the Spirit of life, died. Thus he blotted out every living thing that was upon the face of the land, from man to animals to creeping thing, and to birds of the sky, and they were blotted out from the earth. And only Noah was left, together with those that were with him in the ark. The water prevailed upon the earth 150 days. So it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, but the water stayed there on the earth, and they floated around for 150 days. So this passage talks about how this was a worldwide catastrophe and how it happened everywhere. But it says, and only Noah was left together with those that were with him in the ark. Again, this is a Hebrew-centric Bible. This is the story of the bloodline of the Messiah. Remember, this is it. So we're only talking about Noah. But that doesn't mean that this didn't happen other places. It doesn't preclude that. This was just that to the knowledge of the author and to all that was relevant to this, because in that area, that was it. But again, these stories are found all over the earth about this, with enough similarity that to suggest that they're all talking about the same event, but enough difference to let us understand that they're talking about different people. So it was kind of the same thing, that God came down and told everybody to get out because of the flood, but he picked different people and different little details in the different areas. At least that's how I see it, and it seems to make the most sense. So that ends Genesis chapter 7, and tomorrow we'll continue with Genesis chapter 8.